There it
Wow.
is.
Okay, I'll hold it like that. That's fine. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, how are you
That was
doing?
good. Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, dude, good, man.
I
S-
appreciate you getting up a little bit early on a Monday and coming to chat. We've got you coming to Saginaw here in a couple of days. I know you've had a little bit of time off between tour dates, and I don't know if you know this or not, but Saginaw is right down the road from Frankenmuth, where your friends Greta Van Fleet grew up. You're within a stone's throw of Saginaw, and your story of meeting those guys is a wild story. And I know you've told it a ton. You had the show in Indiana, and this
mhm.
band calls you sort of out of nowhere and says, "Hey, we need a show in Indianapolis. Can we jump on the bill?" And the rest is sort of history, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only did they ask to jump on the bill, they asked to close, which was which I didn't understand at the time. I was like, man, these guys are pretty ballsy. It's first time meeting them, and they're like, hey, can we come close your show for you? Which, looking back, they should have closed the show. Uh, but we had a good time, and we've been buddies ever since. And I'll have to actually, I didn't realize we were so close to Frankenmuth. I'll have to text Jake. I keep in touch pretty well with him and Danny, and well, I mean, keep in touch with all of them, but I'm closest with Jake and Danny, so I'll have to text those guys and
Yeah,
see
you'll
if they
have
have
to ask
any
them
good
where to hit up while
recommendations
you're
for
here. I
us.
mean, they played
Yeah,
shows at White's Bar here in Saginaw. I mean, there are stories now that they've sort of blown up. Obviously, everybody has a story about where they saw Greta first. So.
right. Cool, awesome.
Um, that show actually sort of built a relationship for you guys with Greta, and then ended up you guys going on the road with them a couple of times. I think if I remember correctly, you played a show, maybe the Machine Shop here in Saginaw or somewhere else, but you guys were on the road with them for quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we did two tours with them. We played some Michigan shows early days, so the Michigan shows were always really good, really fun. We played Grand Junction and Detroit. We played St. Andrews Theater with them, and we played can't remember where we played in Grand Junction, but yeah, no, Michigan loves Greta. Well, the whole world loves them, but Michigan has a special place in their heart for them. So we were happy to play some Michigan shows on their home turf with them.
What was it like to sort of have a front seat to the rise? Because I mean, you know that not every band gets that sort of rise from clubs to theaters to arenas. What was it like being friends with those guys, meeting them the way that you did, and then sort of watching
Mm-hmm.
them blow up?
It was wild, man. It was like when we first met them. I mean, they were in their little crappy van with a big old dent in it, and we were playing these little bitty clubs, and but there was this wild energy of everybody who was coming was just so excited to be there. And we watched them go from 200, and then I think our last tour we did with them was in Europe, and they were doing arenas, and it was just, but it was that same energy. So I think they were just such a wonderful, unexpected, bolt of lightning, and it was really fun to see it and to be a part of it, be a very small part of it. But we had so much fun, and I mean, still we have a ton of fans that still follow us and support our band just because we did those early shows with Greta. So that's how they discovered us. So grateful to the guys, and yeah, can't wait to hear more from them.
Yeah, now you guys have your latest studio album is out. It came out earlier this summer, Deep in the Trouble. This
Mm-hmm.
is your first fully independent record. What's it
Mm-hmm.
like for Goodbye June to essentially be able to do everything the way that you want and the way that you feel it should be done, as opposed to having, all these cooks in the kitchen that can get involved? This time around, you guys get to do it yourselves.
Yeah, it feels great. And first off, I'll say my disclaimer statement of like, we're people we worked with before were great, and we still work with them because they still take care of our records. We just had this opportunity that not a lot of bands get, where our contractual obligations and stuff had elapsed at the perfect time, where we were in a financial position to cut and do our own record. And a lot of times those timelines and stuff don't add up, and they don't make sense for bands, but luckily they made sense for us, and we were like, hey, let's do it on our own. And so we had a great relationship with a wonderful studio, Paul Moak and Smokestack. We've cut many records there, and he was out on tour with Heart doing the Heart thing. And he's like, "Hey, you guys want to rent my studio for a month?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." He gave us a great bro rate. We ended up doing some construction work for him, like staining stuff to help get the price down. And like, oh yeah, dude. And I traded him a guitar, get that price down so we could afford it. And dude, it was great. It's just a wonderful experience of doing something DIY. I think when you put your hands on something and you build something all by yourself, there's this extremely gratifying outcome. And for better or worse, whether it's successful or maybe not as successful as you would like, there's still this deep connection to it, and there's this deep appreciation for it.
I imagine as awesome as it is to do something independently, do it on your own, it's also got to be a little bit scary because it's sort of all on your shoulders, not just creatively, but also monetarily. Like, as you mentioned, you're trying to find ways to, when it comes to the studio, to save some cash because this is all coming out of your pockets. That's got to be scary because that stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah, I didn't know vinyl cost 11 grand to
Woo!
manufacture, so I mean, and that's but we found ways. That's what's funny is you give us a problem and we're scrappy. So we'll beg, steal, borrow, and trade and work hard to get it done. So we and what's great is you go on our website and everything is I mean, we own everything like Deep in the Trouble. All of our merchandising now we own, which was not the case in the past. And so any dollar you spend to support this band actually comes to us. So what's great is there's this direct flow of, hey, somebody buys a t-shirt. Well, hey, that goes into the gas tank to the van for the next tour, or that goes wherever, that goes to the next project. I mean, we're so excited about this record and how well it's doing. It's like, well, hey, let's do another one. Two's better than one. So we're already like kind of thinking, okay, how do we continue this? So yeah, we appreciate all the support our fans, and it's been phenomenal. We get orders every day from across the world, like of people who care, who want vinyl, who want our merchandising. I'd like to think, it's just because it's all so cool, but really, I think people just have a heart for our band and they have a heart for this independent DIY journey that we're on, and the support has been awesome.
Yet I'm sure finding out that, buying a t-shirt, buying an album, that money all goes directly to you guys because in the grand scheme of things, I know a lot of people probably think that there's the record labels getting paid. And then in most situations, that's 1000% true. Everybody's getting a piece. But to hear you say, listen, you come to the show in Saginaw at the Vault, you pay your money for your ticket, you pay your money for your t-shirt, that's helping us make it to the next gig. That's helping us finance the next record. That's going to be huge for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And people take pride in it. The last, I mean, you come to a Goodbye June show, we give you everything we got. And we always try to do our best to go meet everybody at the merch table and connect with fans. And you buy a record, you buy a vinyl, you buy a whatever, and you can be a part of it. You can feel like you're kind of a part, you're almost a stockholder in the company, so to speak. So but we appreciate this. Bird is loud, huh? You like that bird? that's
Hey
that's
man,
Nashville. That's Nashville for
you
y'all.
know what? Yeah, right. I wish it's going to be like, I mean, you're probably used to it, but it's going to be 90 some degrees here in Michigan in August, which is it's like a heat wave around here. I'm sure to you that's nothing. And I've got,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it, but we're right next to the highway. So while we're doing this interview, I'm hearing like motorcycles and cars drive by. So
Yeah,
yours is much
yeah.
better
There
than
you go.
mine.
There you go.
Did you guys
Nice.
find yourselves doing anything different on Deep in the Trouble that maybe you wouldn't have done in the past because you had the opportunity to do it all yourselves and there were less people involved?
Mm, sure. It's hard to put your finger on what causes what exactly. I'll tell you this though. This is our fourth record. Our songwriting is all getting stronger and more independent, even of each other. Like we all three write more complete songs individually than we ever have. And so I think that's a beautiful thing, a good thing, and we all come together and then push those songs through a Goodbye June lens, and that creates a Goodbye June song, and we all take a great pride in that. And what's funny is we all know that just because I write a song doesn't make it a Goodbye June song. Like it has to have a certain feel and sound and thing to it. So there's an accountability there. We all like try to roll that rock up the hill together. And then just being in charge. And dude, it was kind of wild. We were in a studio for a month. We'd wake up. I'd always get there early, brew some coffee, and we'd sit down with me, Landon, and Brandon. We'll all sit down with acoustics every morning at, I think, 8:30. We set the time, which is really early for musicians, by the way. That's how bad. That's how important this was. Was like, hey, we gotta really treat this thing. We got to really do our best here. So we get in at 8:30. We start strumming, and there was no rules. No one that was there to tell us what to do. No one told us anything at all. And we'd sit he has a little beautiful foyer there, and we would just sit and work on what we were going to work on that day. And then our friends Nate and Blake, who played bass and drums for us, would get in around 10, and then the studio guys would be there around 10, and we would just be like, okay, guys, this is what we're doing. We're doing this. And I don't know, man. It was beautiful, and it was really stressful, and it was but I think the art that we made was really great. I mean, there's some great songs on this record that I'm really proud of. And to say, did we do something different because we were in control? I don't know, but it felt like this was the most important last chance that we had for Goodbye June to create something special for whatever reason. Now, whether that's true or not, it's kind of moot, but we I felt like our back was against the wall, and anytime you feel like that and you put your all into something, I feel like you can create something special that no one else can create, and I think we did.
Is it true that you guys were sitting on this album for like a year before you got to release it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were trying to figure out, since we were independent, there's these mechanisms of like the business side of stuff of like, well, how do you release a record proper and through the right channel so that people can actually hear it, so that people can access it, buy it, and all that stuff. And it takes a while to do that. It took us, I mean, we weren't wasting any time, that's for sure. So, we found our distribution, and we found our, the merchandising and all that, and figured, and the manufacturing process is kind of a bear to learn, but now that we learned it, we know it, and it's just great information to know. But yeah, we sat on about a year. It was, we got it done. I think it was mixed and mastered. I would call it like August 23. And then we had released it like February, or, sorry, June. Yeah, it was August. And then June 28th is when we released it of 24. So yeah, about a year.
How frustrating is it? You talk about how proud you are of this album and these songs that you wrote, and that you have it ready to go. How frustrating is it to have to sit on something for that long when you want the world to hear it?
Yeah, it is. It can be kind of mentally pretty difficult to juggle, but you also, what's great is you get to live with it, and you can make maybe some smarter decisions. Like, we got to live with it for so long, so we got tired of it, right? And then it's like, when you're tired of something, it's like you can actually kind of hear what song's the best, because when you first create something, it's like every song's a single. You're like, oh, this is the one. That's kind of how you have to be. You have to put everything into every song, and then you're kind of, I don't know. It's like your nose is next to a skyscraper. You can't see the top of it. You can only see what's right in front of you. And so yeah, it was frustrating, but dude, it's just a process, and we had so many things we had to learn to do it ourselves, that and we told ourselves, hey, let's not rush this. That's the biggest thing, because if you rush something and you throw something out and there's absolutely no mechanism to push it out to the world, it's just going to be you and your dog listening to it. So
I want to talk about the songs on the album, specifically Pile of Bones, the latest single. You guys described this as a song about grief following the death of your father and your bandmate's uncle. How much did writing that song, Pile of Bones, how much did it help you cope with this situation and with the death of a family member?
Well, the funny thing about that, if you think about the timing, my father and Landon and Brandon's uncle passed away in January of 24. So that song was done in August of 23. So it wasn't so much the writing of the song that helped us with it. It was the making of the music video. Making of the music video is one of the toughest pieces of art I've ever had to do. And if anybody has the time or wants a good cry, you can go check it out. But yeah, we went up to the site where my father passed away, and without getting too deep into it, there was a home explosion accident where my father didn't make it, and it's very tragic, very sudden. And we filmed a music video, which it was Dad's favorite song on the record. He had always called and told me, "Hey man, I love Pile of Bones. I think that's the best song I've ever written," and he really responded to it, and it really meant a lot to him personally. And then, without making the story too long, our music producer who did Step Aside on our third record, we did this kind of shoot 'em up Western, good versus evil Western music video. And the music director, his name was Tyler Evans. And when we were filming that video, we all came up and stayed with mom and dad at the house. And then the tragedy happened. We flash forward a year and a half later, that tragedy happened, and Tyler called me and he said, "Hey man," he said, "I'd really like to do something kind of for your dad for this record, and I'd like to do Pile of Bones." And so within that discussion of all that, we ended up going up, and I only did it because he knew Dad really well, and we were all kind of grieving together in this moment, in this tragic moment in life, and that was very. I think that united us even more as a family, and going through that together is, it's special, and I think it helped our whole family grieve, which, the song says it's about grief, which it became that after Dad passed and after that accident. And so, sorry, that was a little meandering answer there, but yeah, it's kind of tough. It's still very tough for me to talk about, So,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
thank you for asking.
yeah, when they come to you, when he comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to do something for your dad," and he suggests the idea to film the video where it was filmed, sort of in the rubble, so to speak, how long does it take you to go, "Yeah, okay"? I can't imagine it's like an immediate response. Like it's gonna take a minute for you to sort of process all of that.
Well, Brandon and Landon and Tyler, the director, were all very sensitive to me and mom, at that time, and so they, Tyler kind of pitched the idea and talked to mom about it. She thought it'd be a beautiful tribute, and Dad would want that, and that was one of Dad's favorite songs. So, she approved it, and then I basically said, "Listen, I'll do the best I can, but I can't guarantee you that I'm going to approve this. We can go through all this effort." And I was like, "I might not approve this video. I hate to tell everybody, and I was like, if you're willing to bear that risk, then I'm willing to go through the process of cutting a music video, at that location for Dad." But, man, it came out. He's so good and artistic and sensitive to the situation. And I mean, he made an incredible piece of art. I mean, when he sent that back to us, he sent pretty much the final cut of what that music video became. And that's very rare for a music video. Like, usually you have all these cuts and edits, and I don't like how my hair looks here, or that's a weird, shot that's replaced with something else. You have all these edits as an artist. And I watched it. I like bawled immediately when I seen Dad's face flash over mine. And I was like, I'm good. This is a special piece of art. We agreed that even if it was just for us and no one cared, or even if it received criticism from people, like, we just didn't care. It was for us. So, yeah, like I said, if you want a good cry, go check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm prepping for the interview. I mean, I watched it myself, and it is, like you said, it's an incredible piece of art. It's very moving. If you have the chance to go watch it, you can do that. It's on the YouTube channel, along with a video that you guys just released recently for Heart Still in It, also filmed on location with another band that you guys have become sort of cohorts with, the guys from Bad Flower. They have a brand new song out called Detroit, but at some point, you guys went to
Yeah.
Josh's farm to film that video. So a lot of on location stuff for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. No, we love those guys. They've always been so supportive. Our destinies were intertwined. Good Lord, back in 2000, I want to say 17 or 18, we did a terrible tour. About 25, 30 shows together of like, I mean, I think the best show was maybe 100 people, maybe. And then most of the shows were like 7 people. But we did this tour together where we kind of did this co-headline thing where we headlined in the South because we had toured more in the South and they headlined in the West Coast. And then the Midwest, we just kind of took turns. And we just became friends. Joey's so wonderful. Josh, I mean, all the guys, and the Anthony, I mean, they've just all become friends. So Joey actually lives with Brandon. They have a house, and a couple of their buddies all rent on the east side here in Nashville. So I see Joey all the time when he's off the road. And then I see Josh and Jordan Wolfbauer. He's the director. He directed basically all of our other music videos besides Pile of Bones. He's very talented, but he directs a lot of Bad Flowers videos too. So you'll kind of see a thread in the style of cinematography a little bit, because Jordan does both of our videos, and Jordan's incredibly talented. But yeah, we just became friends and kept in touch with them. And we've done a couple shows with them. Like every now and then they'll get in a bind where like their support will bail out. And if we're open, we'll come support you guys. But they're just wonderful. And dude, Joey always sends me like their records before, and he's like, "Hey man, what do you think?" And we always send each other the records. I sent him Deep in the Trouble. He sent me Detroit and Teacher's Got a Gun and all that stuff. And I was like, dude, this stuff is fire. Like, you gotta, like, this is going to be great. This is going to be great for your band. Like, and all the stuff I've heard is just really incredible. So, we're all in for a good year in music, I hope.
No doubt. And we'll continue that year here on Wednesday. You guys are at the Vault here in Saginaw. Tickets are still available. They'll be available at the door. What's it like? What has it been like? The album's been out for a little over a month now, 2 months now. What's it been
Mm-hmm.
like playing these new songs on stage for your fans each and every night and getting to finally put this stuff out there for the people that have had the chance to hear it?
That's great, man. Our fans are awesome. They come ready to rock and have fun, and I mean, just be in the energy of a rock show. And the new record, the selection that we're playing live, it's all energy. It's all, you got Riding Through, Hard Way, Waller in the Mud, and like it's all these wonderful. There's a ton more energy in this Goodbye June show, because we're injecting all the fun stuff from the record. So it's awesome. I can't wait to share it with Saginaw, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, the show is coming up on Wednesday after Saginaw. You've got a string of dates that you guys are playing. I assume
Mhm.
new album, 2025. You guys will probably be out on the road the entire year.
Yeah, it's looking that way. We'll be on the road. We're planning a Europe run, and then we're planning just kind of this almost Nashville style touring where we do 3, 4, 5 shows in a row, and then come back and go back out and kind of hit these different pockets in the United States. And it's been a really good like work-life balance, and we're having a ton of fun. So you'll see these dates pop up. We have more to announce. I think we're actually announcing more today for anyone in the Colorado, Midwest, Missouri area. We're gonna Kansas City. We're gonna go out west. We'll be announcing those today. But yeah, just keep abreast of our calendar, and we'll hopefully make it out towards you guys again, man. I can't wait. We got to come back up to Michigan, and like hopefully early next year.
Yeah, we'll be ready for it, man. This Wednesday at the Vault, though, you can see Goodbye June. New album is available everywhere. Check out goodbyejune.com for all those tour dates. And Tyler, man, I appreciate you waking up early. I appreciate the bird hanging out with us the entire time,
Yeah.
man. And looking forward to having you here in Michigan in a couple of days.
Hey, see you in a couple days, dude. And thank you for your listeners for tuning in. We appreciate the rock and roll community y'all are building, and yeah, happy to be a part of it. So can't wait to see you guys this week.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Tyler.
All right, see you guys.